Welcome to the Holistic Health Show, where the worlds of science and spirituality converge to illuminate a path towards total well being. Join us as we embark on a journey to bridge the gap between Western medicine and complementary therapies. Hello, welcome back to the Holistic Health Show. Thank you for joining me again today. And today I'm pleased to introduce you to Saras Naidoo, and she's joining us from Canada, which is where I hail from. Saras, you are a cancer freedom holistic coach. I can't wait to dive a little bit more into this. I know you're going to share a little bit about your own story with cancer. And I just want to hand it over to you, Saras. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Amy. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm so pleased to be here and chatting with you. Yes, my journey started 10 years ago. I'm a 10-year warrior, cancer warrior. But prior to that, 2 years prior to that, my husband was diagnosed with kidney cancer and he was given 4 months to live. It's a happy story, though. And he thrived for 9 years, not just survived, he thrived.
Well,
And how was that possible, you may ask? We did everything right. I'm a master gardener. I cooked my own food. I grew my own food as much as I could. And we exercised. We did everything right, or so I thought. And yeah, we both were diagnosed with cancer. So I didn't know anything about cancer. So I started doing my research. I said there was no family history on both sides. Where did this cancer come from? I really started digging into it and started learning all I could about cancer. And during this journey, I found that this started my transformation journey. This was a calling for me, the cancer. Today, I look at my cancer as my gift. It was a gift to me that really woke me up and had me stop in my tracks and really, really pay attention to what was important, which was me.
absolutely. That's so brave. You hear of people when they're diagnosed with cancer, and it's such a shock and it's an overwhelming experience. And how do you even begin that journey?
Yes.
Where do you start?
Yes, because you become frozen in fear and then
Yes.
you can't do anything. And somehow I found ways to deal with that and to work with it. And, during those years, people were asking us, what are you doing? We worked with our medical system. You're familiar with Canadian medical system. We had an excellent team working with us. But in addition to that, there was so much more I had to do when it came
Yeah.
to nutrition and exercise and, alternative therapies. There was just so much more to
Yeah.
learn. I started doing this a step at a time. My husband was very much into it. And we found that it was really, really helping. I found that to be my gift. And I found that to be my calling because I went looking for a cancer coach when I was going through this because there's so many questions I had that the medical system couldn't help me with. And I
Yeah.
couldn't find one. So I meditated on it. And as soon as I accepted it and said, okay, yes, I'm going to help others through this journey. And Amy, you wouldn't believe everything started falling into my inbox, you know, information about all the alternative therapies. So I became a Reiki master, I became a hypnotherapist, a life coach, anything and everything that was going to help me work with others through this journey. So I work a lot with energy. I wouldn't call myself a healer because I think we help others heal themselves, but I help them through that journey. And I absolutely love what I do, you know. So I actually retired early from my teaching job and became a cancer freedom holistic coach. It's amazing, when you take someone through that journey and when you see the transformation that they experience, that's all the thanks I need.
It must be incredibly rewarding. And to be able to relate to your clients, having gone through cancer yourself and supporting your husband through that journey, that can be invaluable to anyone who's going through cancer.
Yeah, exactly. And helping them through that, even the medical system, with all the information that they need, helping them through that process as well. Because when you are going through that journey, from my own experience, if you're going through chemo, especially, the chemo brain doesn't function very well. So you need somebody to guide you and help you through that process. And
Yeah.
through my own experiences, now I am that person, and I know what the medical system needs. I wish I had that help when I was going through my journey.
The initial diagnosis and then all the information and instructions that they throw at you when you've received this diagnosis, it's
Mhm.
overwhelming and it's a lot. And you're already, as you said, frozen in fear. And you've got all these emotions. You're thinking of your family. And your family's now stressed, and there's a lot happening. And so to have a support system around you, somebody who understands the journey, and the support of assisting in your energetic health, supporting someone through chemo with Reiki, just to help with the symptoms and get their energetic body, at least feeling a little bit more like themselves, because it all takes such a toll. When you were going through it, you said there's no family history, so it doesn't sound like you had a lot of people that you could lean on or who could relate to you. And you have the medical system who was helping you. Were you already involved in some of the alternative therapies, or did you begin to find them? And was the Canadian medical system, or your doctors in particular, were they supportive of you trying alternative therapies?
I worked together with them,
Mm,
and they helped in what they know best.
yeah.
But when I had questions regarding diet and nutrition and that, they didn't have any answers for me. And I studied the nutrition. I thought I was doing really well because I come from an Ayurvedic background, right? So the food was not a problem because we did eat a healthy diet. But in addition to that, there was so much more that I learned that I could do. And it's not just what we were eating, it's how you eat, the energy behind that, the energy involved. So I just put all that together and worked with everything I could. And I saw wonders. I saw results like you wouldn't believe. So I thought, man, I have to share this. This is meant to be shared. Yes. And I realized that cancer was not a disease, it's just a symptom of something far greater that's going on in your body. So when I work with a client, I go find what that cause was and to see where that happened. And sometimes I have to go beyond this lifetime through hypnotherapy. You
Mm.
do a past life regression to see where that started. And then you start healing and working with that at a DNA level. It's a long process. It's not going to happen overnight because cancer grows in your body for years and years and years before you see it. So I'm not a medical doctor. I just want to say that. But there's so much we can do for ourselves. We have to take our own health into our own hands and know exactly what you're putting into your body and how you're taking care of yourself. I'm so passionate about that part. Nobody else can take care of you. Only you can take care of you.
And there's really something to be said, a lot of people, particularly you see new mothers, will take better care of themselves for their children,
Mhm.
and which is absolutely important. And of course, why wouldn't you? But in that same note, take care of yourself for yourself, and you will already be healthy for those around you, and you'll be healthier, and you'll be more likely to stick with it because it's something that you now long for yourself. And then to touch back on something else you said, it's about being proactive about your health and taking notice. I had someone on the show earlier this morning, and we talked about how fast paced life is at the moment, how busy people are, and a lot of people don't take even 1 minute out for themselves to think about how their body feels or what's happening in their life that could be causing them stress or pain. And that when we do start to adopt these practices step by step, you're more able to identify these symptoms earlier. Because in many cases, you're not being diagnosed with cancer until it's everywhere or it's in, stage 2, 3, 4, and when it's a lot harder to then come back from. And if you're seeing these symptoms and you're in this holistic mindset of your wellness, you can then, as you mentioned, identify the root cause, really get to the bottom of what's wrong and tackle that.
Yeah, that was me 10 years ago. Like you say, I didn't know I had underlying stress, but I
Mhm.
guess it was there. It was there because when I dug deep through my meditations, that's what I found. And
Yeah.
I was giving to everyone else, but not to myself. So I had a pretty big cup to fill. I started working on that. And when I filled that cup, then I had enough to give to others. And that made me feel so good. And today that I'm not afraid to say, and I don't feel guilty to say that my cup gets filled first without any guilt.
That's wonderful and beautiful, and I hope others will hear that. They
Yeah.
say, and you always use the analogy of the airplane. They say, "Put your
Yeah.
mask on before you help others." I mean, that is key to a
Yeah.
healthy and fulfilling life where you can assist others, because if you're not well, what are you giving? You're giving half of yourself, half of your energy, half of your
Mhm.
space to others when you could be giving your full self.
And you know what else helped me, Amy? I said we lived a really good, healthy lifestyle, right? And to prevent cancer or anything else, start out with a healthy body because that is what helped me heal
Yeah.
so fast through my journey. Because I started out with a healthy body. Chemo can really, really knock you out.
Yeah.
But because I was healthy, I was able to get through that. I wouldn't say I didn't go through the pain and that I did, but I'm pretty sure it would have been much worse for anyone listening in. Even if you don't have cancer, take care of your body from now to prevent anything. I found once we pass 40, we have to take even more care of ourselves first because it seems that's when everything think they have a right to come into our bodies, right?
And even different care. I'm 37, and I've noticed that from 35 onwards, things are changing, and the way my body responds to the things I used to do isn't as fast. Nothing happens as quickly. I need different nutrition, craving different nutrition, and I'm sure I'm craving it because I'm needing it. My exercise routines look very different. And not because I'm not capable of doing those routines that I was doing in my early 30s or my 20s, but because my body is reacting differently to them. So I think there's something to be said. Well, you can eat really healthy or think you're eating really healthy and doing all the right things, but sometimes you need an outside perspective or a little bit more knowledge. And so my point is, you can absolutely be doing all the right things and taking the right approach and still learn and still improve. And there's absolutely no shame in getting some extra insight. Let the professionals help you.
We are always learning, right?
Mm.
And the biggest lesson I learned was just step back and listen to your body.
Yeah.
Your body is intelligent and knows how to heal itself. And that's my mantra. Anyone asks me for, okay, what advice would you give me? That's the advice I would give them. Listen to your body. Your body knows what it needs. But don't do something because you are listening to it somewhere, because you think it's the right thing to do. Listen to your body, and your body will tell you what it needs. And another thing that I started doing was just being grateful
Mm.
and thankful. So, writing a gratitude journal. That's something I get my clients to do the first time when I start working with them. And even if you have to repeat the same things every day, the more you repeat it, the more you manifest it.
I love gratitude journaling, and I see immense benefits in it. And another thing that I've started doing the last few years is making myself be conscious when I'm in a present moment. So if I'm at a concert, you know how you see a lot of people kind of watching concerts on their phone because they're recording the concert? I mean, how many
Oh,
people
yeah.
actually go back and rewatch it after? But
Yeah.
instead of finding yourself, oh, recording this for Instagram, but actually, no, put my phone down and watch the concert and
Yeah.
think, take a moment and think, wow, I'm so grateful I'm here. I'm so happy that I was able to make this happen.
It's so important to be mindful, and
Mhm.
I teach a lot of that in my program as well. Being mindful no matter what you are doing, especially when you are eating. To me, eating food is very sacred. When you are eating your food, there's a way you eat it, not while watching TV or thinking of 1,000 other things. You be present with that food because there's life in that food, and that's what's going to provide nutrition for your body.
Yeah.
So you be mindful about every mouthful of food that you take. And I kind of teach that process, and I do it. I practice it too. So it's amazing. Now it's just part of my routine. And it doesn't take a long time.
Yeah.
It takes seconds to bless your food and
Mm.
be in that moment, right? It's not like you racing for time. Spend that time with your food because that's part of your self-care as well.
I'm a meat eater, and I'm very conscious that an animal has died so that I can have the food that I need. And I'm very appreciative and grateful of that. And I try to always remember to be grateful that something has actually had to die to feed me. And I think
Mhm.
that's so important. It's on the
It
cycle of life.
it is. It is. And if you bless that food and bless the animal, no matter what it went through, you clear that energy, that
Yeah.
negative energy, right? And then you consume that and thank it for providing nutrition to your body, but giving up its life. So everything, I mean, we all live in this world and we help one another and the oneness of everything comes through.
So you've gone through this journey. You've worked with the Canadian healthcare system through your own work and your own research. You found all these techniques, and you're, very kind to share this now. You're doing work to help other people live and battle with cancer as you did. And so when somebody reaches out to you, I would imagine they're scared and probably overwhelmed. And what can they expect then when you're intaking a new client?
Well, when a new client comes to me, either through my master classes or through my website or through my, Facebook challenges, whatever it is, the first thing I do is I work on an emotional scale. And then once I know that, take the steps to provide them with information, how we can work together and the steps that they are going to need to take to get up to those higher level emotions. And once I feel we are fit for both of us, then I provide them with my 6-month program. We go through the nutrition part, we go through the exercise, body movement, and we go through all the alternative ways that I can help them, with the Reiki and hypnotherapy and everything that we do. I have a website and I have a client portal that can get into, and I have a lot of free information there that they can get started working on. And then a Facebook group as well. There's all kinds of information on the Facebook group. So they have access to a lot of information.
It sounds like it's a very individualized plan throughout those 6 months.
Yes, it is very individualized because every person that's going through cancer, every person that's going through that journey is so unique. They have unique needs. So I like the one on one program where I can give them my full attention and help them through the process they need to be going through.
Sarah, I'm very happy that you're here with us today, cancer free, and that you're helping other people. It's got to be rewarding work. It's very important. And I'm sure all of your clients are very grateful. You mentioned that you have a website and a Facebook page and all that. And for everybody listening, I'm going to make sure those are linked into the show notes of this episode so that you can reach out. You can have a look at some of the resources available or ask Sarah's a question. And
Yes.
sometimes just a small question can spark a really meaningful and valuable conversation. Sarah's, thank you again so much for your work and for joining me today, sharing your story and your work with everybody listening. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Amy. So feel so blessed to be here.
And for everybody listening, thanks again for joining us today on the Holistic Health Show. I hope that you found this episode valuable. If you or someone you know has received a recent cancer diagnosis, is living with cancer, check out some of the resources on Sarah's page. And as Sarah's mentioned, if you don't have cancer, it is time to start improving your health. You are always going to benefit from making small changes today. Thanks for joining me on the Holistic Health Show and trusting me to guide you towards proactive healthcare. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform and get ready to embark on an incredible journey toward holistic wellness. Until next time, be well and stay holistic.